How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another BLADE-OSOPHY Sunday, and today I'd like to talk about something that is rather common in our lives and in this YouTube world and social media, and that is passing down judgment lightly or unfounded, and like criticizing with no reference point or no substance. Some people may say, use your excuse the language, I'm just using the exact same words I remember. Use your shit what is intended for, not for cooking. Well, I gotta say, I used to work up in the mountains. I used to do a lot of hard work with axes and machetes and knives. But my life changed. And so my EDC changed. And in order for me to keep on enjoying my knives, well, I do different stuff with my knives, like cooking. And yes, you will see me cooking with a Bark River Gunny, or with the Volkniven F1, or with the Bug Out, or with the Reckon one. And you will see me whittling with them. And that's just me. And I don't care if people understand that or not. It's for me to enjoy my knives, to keep on enjoying my knives. Otherwise, I would just have to sell them and keep a couple of them, to open and cut boxes or envelopes, which is basically now what I'm doing, and perhaps one for whittling. Then that's all I need. In the past, I did use my stuff pretty hard. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen many people use their equipment as much as and as hard use as I used to. So, it's pretty superficial to go on and criticize anyone without having enough substance, enough judgment. Or having unfounded judgment to criticize anyone. Some other people might say this price is right, this price is wrong. If you have noticed in my channel, I seldomly talk about prices, because that is something for us to discover and for us to determine. It will come down to many things. Yes, it will come down to materials and the execution of something. It will come down to the name of the brand, of course, the designer. But at the same time, it will come down to whether or not we are going to pay the price for that, because we may pay for something overvalued in the secondary market, which I'm not all for that. But at the same time, it is each and every one of us who will determine that factor, right? And so when I hear a YouTuber say, this is the right price to pay for this, who are you to say? That bothers me to some point, because then it influences the market. And the way the market is moving right now, there isn't enough stock of anything basically out there. And when one of us pushes a certain segment of the market, influences a certain segment of the market in that way, we really have to be careful on how we are saying things, and thinking about the impact of our words. But then again, I don't see that happening all that often. some other people might say, I don't want to sell to Mexicans, or I ain't selling crap to a Mexican. That's happened to me, and it recently happened to a friend who acquired a very expensive custom knife. I don't remember right now I know the model is the Belfast, but Musier, the last name is Musier, and I don't remember the name. But he bought a Musier Belfast, a very expensive knife, by the way. And the person who was selling the knife to him, he had an interpreter. He didn't want to sell it to him because he was Mexican. Now, this is something I lived through with my hinderer, and before getting to Metal Complex, who sold me his, and also with my Strider. The Strider, Clint from Alchemy One was generous and kind enough to buy it for me. But before that, I met with a couple of people who really were harsh in that sense, and just said those exactly phrases like that. And my friend who got the I think it's David Mosier. Well, he's been a bodyguard, and he works in security, international security, and he's a tough guy, He's been in gunfights, in knife fights, and he's just a tough guy. And he just replied to the person who told him that he didn't want to sell to Mexicans. He just said something like, cut the bullshit, and the green of the dollars is international. It has no nationality. And he ended up having the knife. And that's wonderful for him. But this attitude and this passing judgment so lightly and harshly, and even with discrimination, is something that I'm seeing even more often nowadays. As well as this USA only. What the hell is that? I only buy USA. I only sell USA. Yeah, you spend the money however you want it. I'm all for that. But do you even know how the international market works? Do you know that the food you are eating, you're not eating from the States? You're eating from Mexico, you're eating from South America, you're eating from New Zealand, you're eating even from China. I mean, come on. We live in an international community now, a global community now. And I'm all for supporting local market. But at the same time, if the local market, like for example, gotta be objective. Here in Mexico, it's very, I'm not going to buy a knife here in Mexico if the quality is not what I expect. As simple as that. So I don't care if it's Mexican made or made in Mexico, I don't care. If the quality is not what I'm looking for, I'm gonna go and buy in the USA. I'm gonna go and buy in Russia, in Poland, in France, in Spain. Period. That's how the world works. That's what globalization is. And that's what capitalism is in this globalized world. So, and only sell in USA? Man, that's even a closer mind. Why? Because like my friend said, the green of dollars is international. It has no other color, There's no brown, there's no black, there's no yellow, there's no red, it's just the green of dollars, period. And if you're going to sell, right, what you want is money. But to say that you only sell to USA, if that's your belief, that I'm fine with that. Just keep it private. Shut it. Don't want to know, because then we'll get into an argument. Because then that's propitiating a fight, you know? That's what's igniting. It's igniting a fight. You may have your beliefs, and that's fine, but keep them to yourself. Don't go on and insult people that way. Or this or that YouTuber is the devil incarnate. Who are we to say? Do we really have all the facts? Does that person, is that person that evil? Come on. We need to cultivate ourselves. We need to gather information and experience. Who are we to pass judgment on anyone? Be careful with your words and actions, because they'll have consequences and they'll cause a reaction, positive or negative or neutral. Do you have enough info and experience on the knife at hand? On the person being spoken of? In most cases, we don't. That's the fact. So, and that's something that I think it's important to look, to observe. I try to follow and watch YouTubers who have some kind of experience and knowledge. Nick Chavez, for example, he might not be a hard user. I know that. But Nick has developed a taste and an eye for knives and watches and whatnot. He has developed this eye of seeing quality. And that knowledge and objectivity I appreciate. The same as Dirk Warning, that's the other good side of this. You know, I've also met so many kind people who share knowledge and who've become friends and are inclusive in the community. And I think that's got to be very careful, because I don't believe it's a matter of separating or segmenting, but rather unifying, including. And that's something I have found, fortunately, with Nicolas, with Nick Shabazz, with Dirk Werning, with Neves Knives, Alchemy One, Callow Blades, with the Knife Junkie, Bob DeMarco, you know, Spirited Blades, Tier 1, Outpost 76, Advanced Knife Bro, Cedric and Ada Pete, the Knife Box channel, Alex. You know, I've found that acceptance and integration and that gathering information and developing a taste and an eye for these things, and not just speaking lightly about something, you know. And so I came across 5 points that I found interesting onto when passing down, when critiquing something or someone, the way to do it. And the first one would be the critique must be substantive in truth. not just in any truth, not in your truth, but in a general, universal truth and information. 2, choose the appropriate moment to make that critique. That's so important. Something that it's very grotesque, but will make the point, would be you're not going to critique a person in his funeral. The whole family and friends are going to throw you out in the street, and with reason to, right? So we got to choose the appropriate moment, not in the heat of the moment of a certain situation, but rather choose right. Number 3, critique with gentleness. We don't have to be harsh. We don't have to be rough. I know we might have to be at times very direct and how can I say it, dry, you know, just a direct critique. But to have in mind to critique with gentleness, with appropriateness, with good manners. We have forgotten about manners. Number 4, critique should benefit the other, should benefit others. And that's out of, you see how that changes? It's not out of self-interest, but if it's a wider interest in that critique. It goes beyond self-interest or self-centeredness. And number 5, critique out of kindness and out of intelligence. That's so important, so much important. Because nowadays we're just critiquing and passing down judgments without thinking about anyone, without even gathering enough information to make up our own minds. We've seen this in many different situations that have happened here in YouTube, in the community, in politics, you know. And so I thought these 5 points would help us be a bit more objective and compassionate and understanding. And we certainly don't know what other people are going through. You know, we might be critiqued, we might be judged for wanting a USA-made a USA-made blade, a strider, or whatever. The Brinos, what was it? The Mosier Belfast. We might, I don't know why, but we might get critiqued because of that. But do you know how hard, if it's hard for you guys in the US to acquire knives, do you know, have you have any idea how difficult it is for people outside the US to catch a knife? The knives you see on the table, they haven't been easy at all. At all. And let me tell you something else. We pay almost double the price of each knife that you guys pay because of taxes. So, and shipping, of course. So, we never know what other people are going through, and yet we tend to be too harsh when we come to criticize, and I am guilty of that as well. But I am trying, and I take these 5 points and try to live by them, as well as other principles and ethics. We have forgotten about ethics. And they are there for something, because good and evil exist, because light and darkness exist. It's not a myth. And we have the brains to unravel those things. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you comment down in the comments and let's have a conversation about this. I really dislike, saying subscribe, hit the bell for notifications and blah, blah, blah. But I do want to keep on growing and having these conversations and getting to know more people because there is so much good in the community. And that good has to prevail over the bad stuff. But we gotta continue with these conversations and support each other, I believe. Anyways, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Professor EDC out.